All right, we're back. Live on Twitch. Well, YouTube later. But in all these talks lately about bands having to pay merch fees and not making enough money and stuff, it appears that there's a band that's making a lot of money in the metal world right now. And somebody sent me this article and I want to discuss this. But there are some things about this that you should know because all the headlines and on paper, it looks awesome. We're talking about Disturbed. The headlines in the last few days have been blowing up about how Disturbed just made the most money ever on any one of their tours. It was like $17 million. All the headlines are talking about how Disturbed has made $17 million on their last tour as a band. How many members are in Disturbed? 4? 5? I haven't followed Disturbed since like their second album, if I'm being 100% honest. 4 members. Okay, so they're each making $4.25 million, according to all the stuff that the news has been saying, right? Wrong. It's absolutely wrong because media outlets love to report on gross numbers, but they don't talk about all the expenses and everything. So today I want to do that really quick, but let's talk about one of these articles that I saw. So there's been quite a few articles in the last couple days that have come out about this, but the one that I just pulled up first thing on a search was from The Pit, or We Are The Pit, who likes to steal my content and not credit me for it, by the way. Yeah. Nah, I really don't care, to be honest. But anyways, the headline says, "Holy shit, Disturbed made a lot of money on their latest North American tour." The Chicago nu metal band Disturbed. I don't know why that made me laugh. Well, you know what's funny? Disturbed blew up in that nu metal time, but I don't know if I would call them a nu metal band. Disturbed has always been a hard rock band to me. And I know a lot of metalheads, we always talk about genres. There's a difference between metal, hard rock, rock and roll. It's kind of pretentious. It's like when I posted an EDM clip the other day and called it hardstyle, and all these EDM motherfuckers were like, "Hey, this is not hardstyle." I'm like, okay. It's probably how I sound to people when I talk about subgenres and rock and metal and stuff. But anyways, let's continue. The Chicago nu metal band Disturbed has been touring around the world for nearly 30 years. And as of their most recent 2023 run, the band has broken a major career record. As reported by Billboard, Disturbed's 2023 tour supporting their latest studio album, Divisive, is their most financially successful tour to date. That's really cool, though. Good for them. They've had a long touring career, and they're doing really well. And seeing them kind of come out of the Chicago music scene, I'm from Chicago, gotta support it. I loved their first few albums when I was younger, and I have friends that work for them and say they're awesome people and love them, so this is cool. The article continues by saying the band's Take Back Your Life tour kicked off on April 27th in Montreal, Quebec, and concluded on September 2nd in Noblesville, Indiana. Disturbed was accompanied by Theory of a Deadman, Ginger, and Breaking Benjamin. Per information provided via Billboard Box Score, this recent Disturbed tour sold 336,000 tickets and made $17.4 million. This new achievement beats out the band's prior record by roughly $3 million. That previous record, dated back in 2019, was for $14.6 million. That is pretty damn remarkable. Billboard goes on to provide additional breakdowns, including the average ticket price associated with this run, and a factor that appears to have aided in Disturbed's financial success. Per show, the band averaged a whopping $601,000. The site notes that the average price for Disturbed tickets on this run, $51.07, was down 11% compared to ticket prices in 2019, which were $58.66. However, even with reduced ticket prices, the band was still able to make an incredible amount of money. A factor that seems to have played in Disturbed's financial success is that these recent shows took place in large outdoor amphitheaters, which allowed more people to come in. Wow, what a statement. Wow. That's like John Madden back in the day being like, usually whoever scores the most points at the end of a football game is going to be the winner. Yeah, they're playing at larger venues. Of course they're going to bring in more people. Performing in such locations provided fans the chance to purchase relatively cheaper lawn tickets, and overall the infrastructure of such venues allows for modest pricing. It's reported that this Disturbed tour averaged 11,573 tickets per concert. Pretty good. Major congratulations to Disturbed for this new career high. Making over $17 million, pulling in over $600,000 per show is one hell of an achievement. did you happen to see Disturbed on their recent tour? I did not. The last time I saw Disturbed live was in like 2018 or 19. I had some friends working for them and they invited me and Claire out to their show in Nashville and it was fantastic. The production was absolutely awesome. If I'm being 100% honest, I feel like 3 Days Grace, who was the opener, had more energy overall. Like they put on actually more entertaining live show in terms of the band moving around and engaging with the crowd. But Disturbed's getting older. And they have insane production. So really, they just need to go up there and play their songs and let the production do the rest. But it was a great show. I'd go see it again. The thing I hate when articles like this come out, and like Metal Sucks, Metal Injection, Loudwire, they all do this. They all do this, and they're all like, oh, look how much these tours made of money. Look how much bands are making. They always talk about the gross number. And I know you guys that watch this channel aren't idiots. I know you're aware of that too, but I want to talk about the numbers that go into this because it's nowhere near that amount. Once expenses are paid, nowhere near that amount. For example, you guys know on my last tour, I was tour managing, so I did all the accounting every single night. And you're usually looking at a band, on average, making about 40% of whatever the gross ticket sales were. Because each venue has a lot of expenses that goes into it. You got to pay for everything, literally everything. So there's a ton of stuff taken off that top end before you get to that bottom end number. So when it says in this article that they were making, they averaged $601,000 per show, right? So let's do the math really quick. What is that? Let's without using a calculator, let's see how good I am. I'm not. 10% of that would be $6,000 or $60,000. So $240,000 a night, right? $240,440. That's what you're expecting that they're probably gonna pull in per night. So while they gross 600,000, they're probably taking about 240. But that's the bottom end after the expenses from the show and all the expenses from the production. And I'm just talking about like the show settlement expenses. I'm not talking about paying everything else. So let's take that $240,000. That's what's left, right? So you've got managers that have their hands in that. Typical manager fee is going to be an average of 15%. In the old days, it was 20 on the high end. Some managers take as low as 10 if they're working for a big artist. With somebody like Disturbed, I'd imagine their manager is probably taking like 10, maybe 15. But 10% right there is 24 grand. And most manager deals are off the gross, not the net. So for the sake of math, again, on the low end, let's just say 10% of $240,000, $24,000. So now you're down to about $216,000. Then the booking agent gets a cut for negotiating the guarantee from the band. I don't know what that is, so I can't take that out. So let's just go over expenses. Then you've got crew salaries. And that's a big crew for an amphitheater production like that. I'm talking everything from the tour manager, the production assistant, the stage manager, the backline techs, all of the audio techs, all of the lighting techs. I believe they had video and pyro out there, all of that. And I don't know, maybe they had extra things on the road, like maybe they had a personal trainer, maybe they had a masseuse, something like that. Maybe they brought catering out with them. Not sure what they had, so I'm not going to speculate, but all of those things are going to get taken out of that number as well. Then you've got buses and semi-trucks. And right now is actually the perfect time for Future Tank to step in, because while I'm sitting down right now editing this video, I actually spoke to one of my friends who is on this tour, and I wanted to get some more specifics. So in terms of the buses and the trucks, they actually told me that they were rolling with 4 buses and 8 or 9 trucks. And, you know, I'm not surprised they don't remember considering their job, but let's just say, 8 or 9 trucks and 4 buses. That's a lot. They were traveling with approximately 50 crew members. And then on a lot of the travel days and stuff, the band was flying everywhere. They had 2 days off in a row at times between shows. So that's a lot of travel expenses and a lot of hotels that add up over time. So the point that I'm trying to drive home here is that these bands spend a lot of money on their production to give you a top-notch show. So these numbers that you're seeing on these headlines are overblown. There's a lot of expenses that need to be taken out of this. Yes, I'm sure the band went home with a good amount of money, but it's nowhere near the estimates that we're seeing online. Back to Twitch Tank. You got to think, one bus for the Electric Callboy Tour was approximately $50,000 just for the rental and the driver pay and all that. So let's just assume that one bus is going to be 50 grand a month, and that's not including the gas. You have to pay gas for all those buses every night. Full tank of gas right now with diesel, between $500 and $600. Actually, probably a little more than that. Then you've got the semi-rental costs and paying the drivers for that and the gas for that. There are so many costs that are going to go into this that I'd be willing to bet the band is still making a good amount of money, but the band are not making millions on this. It's just not happening. The band members are not making millions on this. Now, you could throw in some other things. Maybe they had sponsorships. Maybe there were tour sponsors, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, merch sales is another thing to bring up, as Isano just said. But a band that size, their merch is probably being handled by a company, which means the company is printing everything, designing everything, sending a merch person out on the road. After all those expenses are paid too, they're just getting a check for merch, which helps. That's going to help a ton for sure for costs. But if we're just talking about these net costs, after management, booking agents, everybody takes their fees, the crew is paid, the buses and trucks are paid for, all that stuff, you're nowhere near $17 million. Not even close. So that's the kind of problem I have with a lot of these articles that come out like this. While $17 million is nothing to scoff at in gross ticket sales, that's amazing for this band. That's awesome. That's amazing for any band. Unless you're Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift would laugh her ass off at that number. It's kind of a double-edged sword. It makes the bands look great, like they're doing really good, but almost too good. It's not realistic. It's not a realistic number for people to see. And like I said, the people that watch this channel that are into the music industry, you guys know how this stuff works. Like, you guys know that they're not making $17 million. But there are a lot of people that do just read the headlines and then repeat stuff. And they're like, yeah, you know, did you see Disturbed? Oh, those guys are millionaires. I mean, they probably are millionaires after all the years of touring they've been doing, but like, they're not doing one tour and each making a few million bucks. It's just not happening. So I'd like to see more transparency, more honesty when stuff like this gets reported on. To be fair, I have seen a couple other articles that when we were clicking through here that did mention, like, keep in mind, that's a gross, not a net. So I applaud those media outlets that do that. But these outlets, this gives a lot of people the wrong impression when they don't really know the music industry. So, but anyways, I'm not going to lie. This was kind of a killing time on Twitch video, but hopefully this made you think. And if you have any questions, drop a comment, let me know. But until next time, if you'd like to join us on Twitch here, twitch.tv/TankTheTech. I'm on a ton of different social media. My handle on pretty much everything is @TankTheTech. Go figure. But until next time, wherever you are in the world, be safe, be kind to each other. I love you all, and I will be back very soon with another video.